Hey fellas, now that I finally got HBO Max up and running, much plan for 2021, let's help close out this disaster of a year with a disaster of a film. Let's open up Dolittle. This is the latest adaptation of the Hugh Lofting character after the bizarre 1967 musical, and actually pretty decent anti movie comedies from the 90s and early 2000s, and it's easily the most insane. In other words, my kind of flop, reasons I'll get into. So, let's get this started. The film opens on an animated prologue detailing the adventures of Dr. John Dolittle, played by Robert Downey Jr. along with his wife Lily. He has the ability to talk to animals and once traveled the world treating them before his wife passed away. Anyone else already wish we could have gotten that movie instead? In the story proper, Dolittle has become a recluse, with his only companions being the animals in his hospital slash home slash preserve. By chance, Tommy Stubbins, played in this film by Harry Collette, comes in the door after mistakenly shooting a squirrel named Kevin, voiced by Craig Robinson. So, Dolittle, looking like Tom Hanks in Castaway, hey, with his quarantine beard, begins treating the animal's wound with help from the other animals in his estate. These include a parrot named Polynesia, or Polly for short, voiced by Emma Thompson, and a dog named Jip, voiced by Tom Holland. So he has both Trelawney and Spider-Man helping him. There's also the amputee duck Dab Dab, voiced by Octavia Spencer, the timid ape Chi Chi, voiced by Rami Malek, my personal favorite, the chili polar bear Yoshi, voiced by John Cena. Yes, I am sure about that. I already sensed the meme coming. There's also Lady Rose, played by Carmel Laniando, who's taking the strange of the Doctor alarmingly well, as is Tommy. I should address the elephant in the room, and they're not the ones Doolittle's garden now. Stephen Gagan, more well known for acclaimed dramas such as Traffic and Syriana, is obviously not well versed in family films, and it shows. The film was reportedly subject to reshoots by both Chris McCabe of the Lego Batman movie and John Liebsman of the 2014 live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This caused the film, along with numerous delays, to balloon to production budget of $175 million. Yikes. Anyway, after treating Kevin, it turns out that Queen Victoria, who gave Dolittle his estate, has fallen gravely ill, and if she dies, animals will lose their home. So, with some reluctance, they go to see the Queen. I'll also note that Donnie's Welsh accent is quite odd. When the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies, it made some sense, but this is a strange thing to deal with in this movie. We'll say the scene where he eats a dog treat with his tea amuses me, only to remind me that I'd rather be watching Lethal Weapon 3 again. After talking with a squid in Buckingham Palace, that is a sentence I just said, Dilla realizes that the Queen has been poisoned, and he must get the only known antidote, where fruit that grows only one place in the whole world. Well, if we can get the Infinity Stones, a fruit shouldn't be any trouble. Still, there are other obstacles in the way. The scheming Lord Thomas Badgley, played by Jim Broadbent, Dilla's rival Dr. Blair Mudfly, played by Michael Sheen. As for the references to Angry Birds, where dialogue includes snitches get stitches, again, characters like the genie, Mushu, even Maui from Moana, you can argue that they can see the future, hence the jokes they make at least make some sense. That, and they're actually funny. Here, it's more evidence of a movie having fingerprints of universal success all over it. So, while Rose keeps watch over the Queen with Jip, Tom reluctantly joins Dolittle on his quest, still to mistakenly shoot that squirrel and all. I guess there's some friction with his aunt, uncle, and cousin, and maybe his parents are dead, but the movie doesn't really do much with it, nor with his reluctance to hunt animals. Other celebrity voices include Selena Gomez as Giraffe Betsy, and Marion Cotillard as a French fox Tutu. We're only 33 minutes in, so buckle up. I do kind of like this bit with Dolittle trying to throw Polly overboard, but it doesn't work since she can fly. That's actually kind of funny. Back with the Queen, Mudfly plots with Badgley, growing jealous of Dolittle's gifts. This part along the animal antics on the boat, including Dolittle aspiring with Chi Chi, makes me wish, again, this whole movie was animated. And had a better script. I do kind of like the ostrich Plimpton, voiced by Kumail Nanjiani. Mudfly tries to confront Dolittle, gets a boost from, I'm not kidding, humpback whales. Admiral, there be whales here. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Also, Kevin's line here is oddly fitting for those who actually saw this movie. I brought a front row seat to Crazy Town. Again, while mudflies read the room comment is at least a couple centuries after the Victorian era, so far, Michael Sheen is probably making the most of his performance. He plays all the mustache twirling villain quite well. Also, the essay about dragons is pretty on the nose foreshadowing. Still, Robinson doing his best Shatner impression is another funny joke. I guess I'll take what I can get out of the last 45 minutes of insanity I just witnessed. Now, Doolittle must get his wife's journal to find the fruit. Unfortunately, he's in the possession of the King Rasuli of Monteverde, played by Antonio Banderas, and wouldn't you know it, he's also Lily's dad. So he gets help to steal the journal from some ants, and Dragonfly Doolittle has an in with. After a brief Godfather spoof, we're breaking the King's bedroom and it has an adventure with large cats. What are the odds of this being Universal's second CG-filled disaster after Cats in less than a month apart, no less? While we're on the anachronisms, this whole bit is clearly this film's version of the Grail Diary from Last Crusade. Needless to say, the king isn't happy that Dolittle failed to protect his daughter, and Banderas' performance is one of the few bright spots in this movie. So the king decides to feed Dolittle to his tiger Barry, voiced by Ray Fiennes. So this movie has Slughorn, Trelawney, and Voldemort in it for Harry Potter alumni. There's also a hair voiced by Will Arnett. To quote Arrested Development for his involvement in betting against Dolittle, I've made a huge mistake. Case in point, he's in a duel of wits with Barry, and they are both quite mad as Dolittle uses the light on his pocket watch to distract him. Well, like this didn't pull up Mario Kart home circuit, Dolittle's ship is brought about, and of course Chi-Chi hits Barry in the groin, even gives a security back and get like Linus Van Pelt. So, time gets the journal, but Mudfly attempts as he reveals his plan, even destroying Dolittle's boat. Back at the palace, the queen is seemingly at death's door. I forgot to mention his pop point about the eclipse, but it basically means the movie is thankfully almost over, just over 35 minutes left. King Rasuli agrees, grudgingly, to help Dolittle get the fruits, coming to terms with the common loss of Lily. Thankfully, the king has a ship to take them to Eden Tree Island, and it's time again for Whale Ex Machina. Using Lily's notes, able to make it and even elude Mudfly. Huh. It's gonna be hours to get Dragon's Den Blackthorn City. The tree is in the Dragon's Den, and now comes the most infamous scene in the movie, the dragon colonoscopy. No, I am not making this up. Despite this movie being set well before the colonoscopy first performed on a human, the dragon guarding the fruit has digestive issues that are quite literally solved by Dolittle pulling bagpipes and other stuff out of its butt. So, the climax is Dolittle quite literally pulling a solution to the problem out of a dragon's ass. Pretty apt metaphor for this movie, to be honest. That dragon is also named Gingosaurus, voiced by Francis de la Tour, but at this point I better wrap this up. Dolittle takes the fruit and leaves Lily's wedding behind, making peace with his lost love. Long story short, the Queen and Dolittle's home are saved, Badgley is out as a traitor, and we're closing Dolittle back in business with Tommy's apprentice. Also staying with Mudflies down the island. How cute. They actually thought this would get a sequel. Well, this movie was completely insane, but I definitely had fun reviewing it. The film only grossed $77 million stateside and $245 million worldwide on its $165 million budget, being Universal's second CG-filled bomb less than a month after Cats. Opening weekend was blown away by the action sequel Bad Boys for Life and Universal's own 1917. Could only muster a 13% Tomato Meter rating, 5.6 out of 10 IMDb rating, and a 26 score on Metacritic. Given how crazy this year has been, the cinematic equivalent of lightning striking the same place twice. This begs a question. Is this book series unfilmable? Or cursed? I'd like to think not. Now that Fox exclusive rights are done as of their merger with Disney and the books are entering the public domain, any studio that wants to adapt them can. Given how the material has already yielded a bizarre musical, some pretty funny family comedies, and now there's even more bizarre film, it'll be interesting to see what the cinematic climate is like after the age of coronavirus. As far as this film was concerned, however, while there are some jokes that amuse me and some occasionally creative action scenes, It's more or less what I expected. It's not the first time Downey has followed up an acclaimed film with one that's totally mad. Looking ahead the coming decade, it won't be the last. It's not the worst one I've seen this year, but it's definitely one of the craziest. My final rating is 2 out of 4. I think I've earned my binge of DC and Ghibli movies after this, as well as Set the You Off and Smash. That'll be all for now. Take care.